Welcome to Easy Start Tutoring. My name is Moffat Moloko. I'm a computer science and business computing student at the University of Cape Town, and I will be your tutor today. So our plan for today is to go over iterations. There are two types of iterations in computer science, which is being for loops and while loops. So essentially, let's start with while loops. What happens when you want to print a number from 1 until 100 and you don't have the time to write the print line, print 1, print 2, print 3, print 4, print 5? What happens in that situation? We only have a limited number of time. So I would suggest to you to use a while loop. So I'm going to be quiet for a moment while I type, and I'll explain it a bit later. Wait a minute, let me just do this. Okay, let's go. Okay, there you go. I have essentially written a code that I know will start from 0 up until 101. So let's prove that the code works. There you go. Look at the bottom right of your screen. You'll see numbers starting from 0 until 100 printed out. So let's explain what the code does. A while loop needs to have a condition, and it only executes if the condition is true. So 101 is greater than 0. Our n is 0 for now. Yes, it is true. Then it prints out n. What is our n? Our n is 0. And then it says, now on the n that you have at 1, so our new n will essentially be n plus 1, which is equals to 1. So going back to the code again, the first try our n is 0, it prints n, and then it increments n. Now our n here is 1. 101 is greater than 1. It prints n, hence the 1 here. And then it keeps doing that up until it reaches the stopping condition, which brings us to our next point. In computer science, you need to give your code a stopping condition, otherwise it would be an endless loop. It would go on forever until your program stops running itself. But that's not it's a bad way of programming. So my stopping condition is 101. But hey, something weird happened. It stopped at 100. What happened to the 101? Well, here's the thing with stopping conditions. It always stops one before the actual value. Our value is 101. The one before is 100. Hence, our last value is 100. And with that being said, here's a basic example of how to use a while loop. Just printed a number from 1 until 100. So the next loop that I will show you is a for loop. So I will erase this. Let's do the same thing using a for loop. So I just wrote a for loop. Let me explain how it works. It just did the same thing that the previous code did. So essentially, here's how a for loop works. For I in range, I is any variable in space. It could be X, it could be Y, it could be Z, it could be Moffat, it could be U. I is any variable in space. For any variable in space, apply this function called range. What does the range function do? It starts from 0 up until the stopping condition. Here comes the stopping condition again. From the stopping condition, add 1 every time from 0 up until the stopping condition. Add 1 every time. So from 0 up until the stopping condition, which is 101, add 0, and then each time you add something, print it. It's basically what a for loop does. So you say for any variable in space, for I in range, start from 0 to 101. You could even do it like this, start from 0 to 101. Still makes perfect sense. It still does the same thing. You are starting from 0 to 101 and you're printing I every time. So now let's start from 1 this time. I start from 1. It starts from 1. What about when you want to start at 50? That's exactly what you want to do. It starts at 50. But what if you want to start at 50 and at 100, but you want to skip 10 numbers in between? You start, you stop, you iterate, skip. They did 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. So one thing that you must note about for loops is that you can nest for loops together. Same with while loops. You can say for x in, remember, this is perfectly acceptable. You can nest for loops together, just like I did here. For I in range, this and that for another for loop within a for loop, nesting a for loop with a for loop. Now I want to try something with you. Say I start at 1, I end at, let's say 10, or let's say 11, and each time I want to print, let's just put 2 and see what happens. I want to print an asterisk. Let's see what happens. It prints an asterisk, right, going down. But what if, let's put the 2 back. I'm saying end each line with nothing. After printing it, don't do anything. Just leave the space blank. Add from the last bit. So it prints this. Let's count how many times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. It printed 20 times, which is 10 times 2. But now, what happens when I say, instead of putting an actual number, I put a variable in space within my range? So it iterates. While it iterates, sounds like something cool I would want to see. Let's see what happens. Wow, it prints all in one line. I mean, that's what happens when we do this. And for I in range 7. Okay, now I want it to end in nothing but print a space at the end. printed. So this is essentially showing you how a for loop works. It says for I in range 7 and for x in range I, when I is 0, the 0 comes here, it prints that, it ends in nothing, it prints a space. Starts on your new line. There's a 0 there, goes to 1. There's a 1 there, goes to 2. There's a 2 there, goes to 3. There's a 3 there, and that's how you print an asterisk triangle in Python. And thank you for watching this video. Be sure to leave a like and a subscription below, and see you in the next video.